It's time to go from clueless to wag of the year. Welcome back to How to Pretend You Know F1, your go-to spot for decoding all the Formula One madness so you can keep up with your F1 obsessed partner. I'm Ingrid, your guide to navigating those race weekend rants, and today we are driving into day one of the 2025 Miami Grand Prix, covering the lone practice session, that spicy sprint qualifying. Expect drama, speed, and a little chaos. Grab your mojito and let's get into it. This weekend is a sprint weekend, which means it's like F1 on hyperdrive. On Friday, teams get just one practice session called Free Practice 1 or FP1 to tweak their cars, followed by a sprint qualifying to set the grid for Saturday's mini race. The sprint is a 19-lap dash that hands out points to the top 8 and gives us a sneak peek at who's hot for Sunday's main race. Day one is huge because it's the first clue about who's fast and who's flopping, and your partner is probably already overanalyzing every single lap. Let's start with Free Practice 1, the only practice session of the weekend. Teams had 1 hour to test their cars, but it was a wild ride. Oscar Piastri set the fastest lap, beating out Charles Leclerc by 0.356 seconds. Oscar's also leading the championship, so this was a big flex. Leclerc took P2, and Red Bull's Max Verstappen, the reigning champ and new girl dad, grabbed P3. These guys are the ones to watch this weekend. But keep an eye on Williams, Carlos Sainz, and Alex Albon. They rounded up the top 5, showing some serious speed for a midfield team. The session ended early when rookie Oliver Bearman, driving for Haas, spun and crashed into the wall at turns 11 and 12, causing a red flag. That's when they stopped the session for safety, and it cut into 4 minutes of precious track time. Drivers like Lando Norris and Lewis Hamilton didn't get to do their fastest lap on soft tires, so they ended up lower in the order. Norris in P12 and Hamilton in P10. And honestly, today just was not Lando Norris's day. Lando Norris had tools, including 2 flashlights left in his cockpit when he went out, and radioed his team like, guys, there's stuff rattling around.
Why are we stopping? Just take the shit out of my hand.
McLaren had to pit him to clear it out, and now they're facing a steward's investigation for an unsafe release. This is like basically forgetting your coffee on top of your car, but way more embarrassing. FP1 was a wake-up call. McLaren's got pace, Ferrari's close, and that crash threw everyone's plans into chaos. Now let's talk sprint qualifying. This is a 30-minute showdown with 3 knockout rounds, SQ1, SQ2, and SQ3, where the slowest drivers get eliminated each time. The goal: set the fastest lap to start in front for Saturday's sprint race, and it did not disappoint. Kimi Antonelli for Mercedes, hold the phone. This 18-year-old rookie nabbed pole with the lap time of 1 minute 26.482 seconds, making him the youngest pole sitter in any F1 format ever. This is also the fastest lap ever on this track. Kimi's the new kid driving alongside George Russell at Mercedes, and he's got everyone's jaws on the floor. Oscar was super close to a pole, just a whisker behind Kimi. He's starting at P2, and with his FP1 speed, McLaren is looking fierce for tomorrow. Lando's luck turned, and he locked in at P3, so McLaren's got 2 cars in the front, and Lando won his first F1 race here last year, so he's got that Miami energy. Max Verstappen for Red Bull and Charles Leclerc for Ferrari are also in the top mix, but they didn't crack the top 3. George Russell for Mercedes made SQ3, but couldn't match Kimi's pace. Lewis Hamilton, now at Ferrari, also reached SQ3 but wasn't in pole contention. Oliver Bearman's bad day just got a little worse. He got knocked out in SQ1 and will start near the back. Carlos locked up in his final lap, landing him P15 despite Williams' earlier promise. Meanwhile, his teammate Alex Albon snagged P8, which shows that Williams really has some fight in them this year. This grid is wild. wild. Kimi's pole is a total plot twist, and McLaren's 1-2 punch sets up for a spicy sprint race tomorrow. Day 1 was peak F1 reality show, and here are the juiciest bits. Oliver Bearman's crash in FP1 was a gut punch. He's just a Brit trying to prove himself at Haas, but spinning out and bombing an SQ1 has fans buzzing about whether he'll bounce back. Those flashlights in Lando's car was a total facepalm. McLaren's boss, Zach Brown, called it a silly mistake, but the stewards might slap them with a fine. And if your partner isn't all about the papaya, he is probably cackling about that one. The Miami track is tight, and drivers were flirting with disaster. Charles and Gabriel both kissed the walls in qualifying, which is like scraping your car in a parking lot, but with $1 million repair bill. Guys, that makes me feel a lot better about the $2,000 I'm gonna have to spend. Oscar Piastri's leading the driver's title, but Lando Norris is only 10 points behind him, and Max Verstappen just a teeny bit further with 12 points back. FP1 and qualifying show that this fight is tighter than a Miami Beach bikini. Your partner's hyped because day 1 is a crystal ball for the weekend. Kimi's the wild card, McLaren's on fire, and Verstappen's lurk. So why is your partner glued to their phone or TV? Day 1 is like the trailer for the whole Miami movie. Kimi Antonelli's pole was a shocker. Mercedes hasn't been top dog lately, so an 18-year-old stealing the show is huge. McLaren's speed in FP1 and qualifying has fans dreaming of a papaya podium, plus the sprint format means less prep time, so mistakes like Bearman's crash or McLaren's tool blunder are gold for F1 nerds. And don't forget Miami's vibe. This is a perfect storm for F1 obsession. Alright, wags, here's how to jump into the F1 chat and make your partner's jaw drop. Say Kimi Antonelli is only 18 and got pole. Is he the next Verstappen? This shows you're clued in and sparks a debate. Try McLaren leaving flashlights in Lando's car. What, was his helmet not shiny enough? This is a fun way to poke at the whole drama. Ask him, who's winning the sprint? Kimi's pole is crazy, but McLaren's got 2 cars up front. This lets your partner geek out on predictions. That's the day 1 scoop for the 2025 Miami Grand Prix. Tomorrow's sprint race is at noon Eastern, followed by qualifying for Sunday's big race. So buckle up for more action. Drop a comment and let me know. Are you rooting for Kimi's rookie vibes, McLaren's papaya power, or maybe Lewis Hamilton's Ferrari comeback? Smash that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you fabulous wags for tomorrow's date.